Hey, what up, guys? Todd Lyles here, Service Excellence Training. And today I've got a topic for anyone that's really ever been accused of price gouging. If you've ever been accused of price gouging, this is going to be a good topic for you. Now, the reason why I'm doing this topic specifically is because of Hurricane Harvey and the price gouging that is taking place in Houston, Texas by some folks right now. Just kind of show you an example. If you Google price gouging, you're going to see price gouging in Texas pop up, and you're going to see things like $20 for a gallon of gas, $99 for a case of water. So this stuff is terrible, and it shouldn't be done. So that's a bad gig. You don't want to be a company, and you don't want to show up on any of these news sources where you see someone accusing you of price gouging. But here's the thing, right? I don't believe any of our clients here are going to just charge more because a hurricane has happened or a catastrophic event. I actually believe the opposite of that. I believe that you guys are going to donate, you're going to contribute your money, you're going to put in efforts, because that's what we do. As technicians, as blue-collar type workers, we work hard. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to get accused of it. So you may get accused of price gouging people, especially in times of emergency. So what I want to do is I want to help you today, and I want to show you how to stop the accusation of price gouging. I want to show you how to stop the accusation of price gouging. By the way, as you're coming online, do me a favor. If you hit the thumbs up button, I'll see your name show up here, or you say a comment. Just hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see your name. I'll say hello to you, and then I want to engage you. So I got a question for those of you that are listening or watching, and it's: have you ever been accused? Have you ever been accused of price gouging? Have you ever been accused of price gouging? Maybe it wasn't even in a hurricane. Maybe it wasn't after an event. Someone just accused you of it. Have you ever been accused of it? That's the first question. Chances are probably yes, you have. Chances are probably yes, you've been accused of it, even though you're not doing it. So here's what you got to keep in mind, right? First of all, you got to keep in mind the mindset of a client that is in an emergency situation. They're hurt. They're anxious. They look at the news. They don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, just holy smokes, could you imagine being one of those people in Houston that lost their home? God bless them. How terrible that would be. By the way, just as a side note, we are going to be contributing to that fund. I'm going to be setting up some links, so check out those links, okay? If you can help contribute, do, but that's not what this is about, even though that's really important. But we, as a company, we're going to be putting $5,000 towards that, and if you can help out, even if it's just $1, it's going to go a long way. People need the money right now. They can use the resources. But going back to it, those people that are in those situations, maybe it's not even the ones that had their homes damaged, but they were in the area. Right now, they're seeing people charging, gobs of money for gas, $20 for gas, $99 for a thing of water. First of all, those companies that do that, they're going to get everything that's coming to them. Karma is going to step in, and it's going to be terrible for them. But what we're going to be talking about is how do you prevent the accusation? So there's a couple things, by the way. One of my sources for this, and one of the guys that inspired me, was Alan O'Neill from Abacus. We spoke about it last week. Alan said you could really help some folks out if you do a lesson on this, because it's happening to contractors in Houston. We know that they're legitimate, good contractors just charging the normal price, but clients, our potential clients, assume that what they're doing is their price gouging. So here's what you got to do. You have to go back to your approach of service, right? Now, we call our approach press play. And if you've never seen this before, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus in on this part right here. But press play is your approach to service. By the way, this is prepare, and that's even more important in these type of times. This is relationship. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I want to get down to what works. This is evaluate with questions. But right here, it's settle fears. That's what we call it. You may call it something else, but settle fears. And in the settling fears moment, this is when you address the concerns that a homeowner has. And we know the concerns that a homeowner is going to have, right? One of the concerns that a homeowner is going to have is, can you actually make the repair? In other words, are you technically sound? That's going to be one of the concerns. Another one of the concerns that a homeowner is going to have is and we're not going to, hang out right here for too much, but can they feel safe with you in their home? But here's a big one, especially right now. How do I know that the price is fair? Now let me stress, clients have this concern all the time. And this concern just gets heightened in emergency situations because they know that when they're in an emergency, you can take advantage of them. By the way, let me just step out of the situation of Harvey for just a second. And I want you to realize that that emergency situation happens for a client anytime they feel like they're up against a wall, their system isn't working, it's hot, there's water leaking in. They're in a personal emergency situation. And it's just heightened when things like a storm hit. So when you get here, it is critical that you have the ability to prove to your client that your goods, services, and prices have been predetermined in advance, long before this visit, and it's not going to go up or going to go down based off the client's situation. It is what it is because of what you guys have to do to operate a business. And it was determined 6 months ago, a year ago, and you can stress that to your client and you can prove that to your client. This is important at all times, and especially important in times of emergency, because this is what prevents the concept of price gouging. Now, if you want me to give an example, I will. By the way, if you want me to give an example, hit me a thumbs up, and I'll give you a scripted example of this. You may not want the example. I don't want to bore you if you don't. But if you want me to give you a scripted example, something that I might say to a homeowner if I was a technician in your shoes, let me hit some thumbs up. If I get 3 thumbs up, I'll give an example. But you want to be able to prove to the homeowner, all right, they're coming in. You want to be able to prove to the homeowner that your recommendation is fair. And it's this proof of past pricing that will prevent the accusation or the assumption of price gouging. Okay, well we got a lot of thumbs up then. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 examples of this. I'm going to give you one example that's outside of the Harvey situation, and then I'm going to step into the Harvey situation, okay? So here's example number 1, which is very similar to what you should do on every single call. And by the way, I'm not going to hang out too much here. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to show you how to prevent the accusation of price gouging. By the way, never say that word, all right? So we're going to jump right down here. Okay, Mrs. Smith, in a few moments I'm going to do a diagnostic for you. I'm going to find out exactly what caused your problem today, and I'm going to write you up some options. I'm going to put those options in writing for you, answer your questions, give you a chance to look them over, and pick the one that you feel that would be best for you. Now, Mrs. Smith, what I want to stress to you is that every single one of the options that I'm going to show you is going to come out of what we refer to as our options guide. And our options guide is a list of all the possible repairs or replacement that we might have, and I can show that to you here. It's in my hand. Now, if you look on our options guide, you'll see a publish date, and we last updated this guide about 6 months ago. Periodically, we have to update them as suppliers charge us more money. But this is the guide that we use for everyone, and it's the guide I'm going to use for you today. All right, that's it. By the way, that's a small little item, but it is one that I recommend whether you're using a physically printed guide or maybe you use a 3-ring binder and you update it. Have a publish date on that guide, a version number, so that you can show. Now, you might be going, well, what if we updated the guide? Well, this is what I would say. Don't update your guide, if you can help it, right before an emergency event. If you updated your guide, and it's been a week since, then just explain that, because sometimes you have to update them. And what I would say is that if your guide was updated and you were backed up against an event like Harvey, you might roll back to your previous price and treat that as a benefit to homeowners to keep them from, getting on. Sorry, my sword hit the ground. So that's one way to do it is to actually put revision numbers on the outside or inside of your book, and you can prove that. Now let's go to a situation like Harvey. First of all, of course, represent empathy. Let folks know that you're deeply concerned, you understand the horrible situation. That should happen somewhere up here in a relationship. Now, when you get into settling fears, you can more directly address this concept. Mrs. Smith, one of the things I want to stress to you today is that as a company, we only do things the right way. And when we look at, pricing our goods and services, all of these things are done in advance, and we would never take advantage of a client's emergency situation. That's why all of the options I'm going to show you here today, these totals were determined long ago. I think the last time we updated our book was 6 months ago, and it's easy to double check those facts. So I'm also going to write these things down for you. I'm going to write them out one by one, and I'm going to review them with you. And I'm going to make sure that all of your questions and all of your concerns are addressed. And I'm going to do that before I do any of the work so that you'll have that peace of mind of knowing that the options you picked were your options and that you can feel good about them. So guys, the greatest way to prevent the accusation of price gouging is to use a flat rate system where the prices are predetermined and you can prove it. You can show them your system. Don't go to your truck and come up with your options and you never show them your pre-written book. Show them your book. Let them ask questions about it. That's going to be your greatest way to prevent the accusation of price gouging. And what I would say is that if there are companies that are actually price gouging, man, that's terrible. You know what? Vengeance is the Lord's as well as the news. They'll find out about it. Don't be one of those guys. I'm sure none of you guys would be because you guys are freaking awesome. If you like this, do me a favor. Share it. This message isn't just for now. It's for the future. Share the message if you feel it's a good message. Get it to a contractor in Houston. If you know a contractor in Houston, please send this message to them. Let them see it. Let their guys watch it because some folks are going to get accused of this, and they don't need to be accused of it, especially if they're not doing it, all right? Thank you, Alan, for the idea. I hope this will benefit you guys. I hope it'll help you. If you have a question, put it in the comments. And if you have a link for a company, like a GoFundMe for a company that needs help, let me know. So far, I've been giving one link, and I've been promised a link to another. And by the way, not just Houston, but Portland, Rockland, Victoria, all those areas that were affected. If you know of a link that's helping technicians, salespeople, CSRs, a lot of people are going to be giving a lot of money out there. We all need it, but this organization is going to be specifically helping the people in the trades. Post the link in the comments. I'd like to assemble a big email and try to get that spread out to everyone so that we can get some love out. I'd like to do that on Wednesday. So if you know someone that needs help, please send us a message. Really appreciate you guys. Have an amazing day. And as always, go out there and turn learning into earning.